This is the cold start video for the 2007 Audi RS4 Avant. Start her up, please. And if you'd like to gently increase the revs. And if you'd like to give her a couple of blips. One more. Going for a spin in Alex's 2007 Audi RS4 Avant, and yeah, so in terms of the steering, Alex, how would you describe its feel?
Yeah, it's really on point. There's no movement at all. It feels really well grounded as a car. It's been great for me. Yeah, so no rattles or anything like that. It's it feels like a great car, but I think that's in part to the Audi suspension,
yeah,
which had quite a bit of work a few years ago, yeah, I mean, before then it was great, and now it feels almost like new. And
in terms of the gear change, how would you describe its feel?
Perfect, but it's had a brand new gearbox less than 1,000 miles ago.
Perfect. And so presumably you're happy with the clutch as well then?
Yep, clutch was replaced at the same time, feels great. And all is good, sorry.
No worries. All clear this side, yeah, that's good.
Still recording.
And in terms of the brakes, how would you describe its feel?
They're very, very good. They, again, never given me any problem. It's always stopped well. I think the overall driving of the car has always been really precise and a pleasure, really.
And in terms of dashboard functions, does everything work?
I think so. To be honest, there's stuff going on here which I've never even used. But
yeah.
There's a number of functions. With the dash, it's got the sports mode, which you see the little S comes on. I think it does some bits with the exhaust, and possibly the suspension. You can see the display, it's pretty standard at the moment, but there's lap timers and all of the usual functions on there for miles per gallon, miles to petrol, all of the resets and all that stuff. All of the buttons seem to work, so yeah, good.
And the car is pretty much standard, really, isn't it? You haven't made any sort of unnecessary modifications, but is it with the exception of an oil cooler, is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I've tried to keep the car as standard as possible. So we did the suspension a few years ago, and looking around, I know a lot of people put coilovers and whatnot, and there's all of different opinions around what's better. But to be honest, Audi, I think, made an exceptional car, and I felt that it's reaching that kind of status where it might be a collector, and I just felt that people would want it to be as close to standard as possible. The oil change was the one exception where, doing a bit of research, it just seemed to be an overwhelmingly obvious one, because the Audi one was an undermount oil cooler, and it didn't look that great. So changed that for an aftermarket option, which is front mount, but you can always revert that change, I suppose. Quite
Yeah,
easily.
exactly. So it's a sensible modification. And so talking about oil, have you experienced any issues in terms of oil pressure or engine temperature at all?
Never had the oil light come on since I've owned the car. The temperature, it's just coming up to temperature now, so it's, you can probably see it's about 63 in the summer, or if you really kind of go in summer, you might get that 100, 110. But I think that's perfectly normal. I've never seen any problems.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, we're going for a little, quite a bumpy road. I know this road quite well, and it's the suspension's dealing with it really nicely. I can't hear any unwanted rattles or creaks coming from the wheels at all. There's a few from the interior, but that's obviously just a little bit of trim, but nothing really major at all. The car feels nice and tight.